Things are starting to look extremely shaky for Diddy. Almost overnight, a flood of videos has begun making the rounds online, and people are no longer brushing them off. At the same time, another development caught everyone's attention. Reports claim his iconic matte black private jet, the one he proudly flaunted for years, has quietly been sold. That jet is no longer in his possession. And to many watching from the outside, this doesn't feel random at all. It feels like the first crack in something much bigger. What makes this moment stand out is that it's not just a single clip or isolated rumor. It's the timing. Everything seems to be happening at once. Chances are, you clicked on this video because you've already seen some of what's circulating online. Awkward karaoke footage that left viewers uneasy. Party videos that fueled non-stop speculation. Alleged leaked audio that keeps resurfacing no matter how often it's dismissed. And that's only scratching the surface. Because the situation isn't just about videos anymore. It's also about money, assets, and decisions being made behind closed doors. When someone starts selling major possessions at a time like this, it naturally raises questions. By the end of this video, the connections between all these events should be much clearer, and you will understand why so many believe things are accelerating fast. Before diving into the tapes themselves, there's crucial background that needs to be addressed. Without it, none of what's happening now really adds up. I won't go over every accusation or legal claim. Most of that has already been widely covered. What matters is the current reality. As of now, Diddy is being held at Fort Dix. This all traces back to March 2024, when federal agents executed coordinated raids on his properties in both Los Angeles and Miami. Imagine waking up to that, federal authorities searching multiple homes at the same time. And it didn't stop there. Several civil lawsuits followed, filed by individuals identified as victims. There's also an important detail that hasn't been discussed as much. According to reports, had higher-level convictions been secured, prosecutors in the Southern District of New York were prepared to seize everything: cash, real estate, vehicles, and assets across the board. From a financial perspective, that explains a lot. Ongoing legal battles at this scale are brutally expensive. When multiple lawsuits are active simultaneously, legal costs can skyrocket faster than most people realize. Selling assets under these circumstances isn't unusual. It's often a strategic move. With that context in place, attention turns back to the tapes that have people talking. Some of the material circulating online has genuinely disturbed viewers. One of the first people to publicly address the situation was Aubrey O'Day. She worked closely with Diddy in the past and has spoken openly about her experiences. Recently, she appeared on a podcast and made statements that immediately raised eyebrows, comments that added fuel to an already growing fire.
Immediate release from prison. This week, his attorneys urging a federal appeals court in New York to reverse his conviction on prostitution-related charges or direct the judge to lighten his 4-year sentence. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris, joining us. Diddy's lawyers, Jeff, officially filing that appeal this week. Tell us more about their argument and also the chances it succeeds. What are you hearing?
So Diddy is currently serving that 50-month prison sentence after being found guilty on those related charges over the summer. In their appeal filing, his lawyers now arguing the music mogul was treated harshly during sentencing by a federal judge who let evidence surrounding charges that he was actually found not guilty of actually then influence his punishment.
She characterized the current legal action as largely symbolic. In her opinion, it barely scratches the surface, representing, as she put it, less than 1% of the accountability she believes victims truly deserve. She went further, suggesting that systemic protection still exists for certain people in power, and emphasized that her remarks weren't aimed at just one individual. According to her, there are others whose alleged behavior was even more extreme, and who have yet to face real consequences. That perspective shifted how many people interpreted the situation. It stopped feeling like a story centered on one person and started to resemble part of a much broader pattern. Around that same period, another video began spreading rapidly online. Rather than focusing on a single figure, it questioned accountability across the entertainment industry as a whole. The clip mentioned several well-known artists and posed an uncomfortable question: will audiences continue to support people accused of harming black women, or is a turning point finally approaching? One message from that video resonated strongly: consent isn't permanent. Agreeing at one moment doesn't mean consent can't be withdrawn later. That idea struck a chord with viewers, especially given recent documentaries and renewed discussions around power dynamics and exploitation. The video challenged people to consider their own role moving forward, keep streaming the music, keep buying tickets, or find new ways to hold artists accountable. It wasn't telling anyone what to think, but it highlighted something many people prefer to avoid. Some argue that avoiding the conversation altogether is part of the problem. Then came another troubling development. Reports surfaced claiming that employees working for Diddy had stopped receiving pay since his incarceration. His spokesperson quickly denied the allegations, insisting that everyone was still being paid and that no staff members had resigned. However, sources close to the situation told a different story. According to those accounts, some workers allegedly went unpaid and ultimately walked away. Behind the scenes, financial operations are said to be overseen by TriStar Sports and Entertainment. Because payments must pass through multiple approval layers, funds can take significant time to process, and this reportedly hasn't only impacted staff. There have also been claims that even family members are facing delays accessing money. Reports suggest that his mother, Janice Combs, along with his children, have struggled to secure funds for everyday expenses. The contrast is hard to ignore. One moment marked by luxury jets and unrestricted spending, the next defined by approvals and financial bottlenecks. It's a stark reminder of how quickly circumstances can change. Now attention turns to what many see as the most disturbing element yet. According to reporting by the New York Post, recordings from private parties allegedly exist, and investigators have reportedly identified when some of those events took place. The footage is said to date back to 2004 and 2005, linked to VMA after-parties and Super Bowl weekends. One particular after-party following the 2005 VMAs has drawn significant attention. Early in the evening, a number of high-profile celebrities were reportedly present, names like Eva Longoria, Paris Hilton, Ice-T, and Quincy Jones. But reports claim that once those guests departed, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. Accounts connected to the footage describe a very different scene from what the public saw earlier that night. The clips allegedly show young men and women partially undressed, with moments suggesting intimate activity. In one segment that sparked widespread discussion, a woman appears with a white substance visible beneath her nose, prompting immediate speculation online. Another detail that made these clips especially notable was how they were reportedly authenticated. In the footage, Diddy is seen wearing the same white t-shirt he had on earlier that evening when photographed at the VMA after-party. The shirt, printed with the phrase "God is the greatest," became a key detail used to tie the footage to that specific night. Additional video is said to originate from Super Bowl weekend in February 2005. That weekend included a high-profile gala hosted by Diddy, attended by celebrities such as Ashton Kutcher, Ashley Simpson, and Joe Francis, known for Girls Gone Wild. But according to reports, the evening didn't end when the gala concluded. The gathering allegedly continued at a private mansion Diddy was renting at the time, reportedly costing around $20,000 per week. Footage from that location is said to show two men together while laughter fills the room. What caught many viewers' attention was a filming angle. The camera perspective appears first person, leading to speculation that Diddy himself may have been recording the events. A federal law enforcement source later stated that descriptions of the footage align with material already under investigation. At this stage, authorities are said to be focused primarily on the issue of consent. Whether everyone involved participated willingly, or whether pressure or coercion was involved, has become a central concern. That uncertainty is what makes the footage especially unsettling for many observers. And the situation becomes even more alarming. Earlier reports mentioned tapes allegedly being offered for sale. One attorney representing a civil lawsuit claimant shared a chilling detail. She stated that someone contacted her attempting to sell a video. According to her, the footage features Diddy alongside another extremely high-profile figure. She claimed to have personally viewed the video and said the other individual involved is even more famous than Diddy himself.
Has sold his Gulfstream G550, that's a PJ for the brokies out there, in October of 2025. Mia, you got the final sale price. It says it was not disclosed on the paper, but you got new information.
Well, listen, it runs from between $20 million to $30 million. Of course, they did not tell us what the final sale was. And it's also anonymous. We don't know who bought it.
Listen, I'm not mad at that person. Whoever that is,
keep it anonymous.
Keep it anonymous. Like,
right.
Listen, when I'm at the dispensary, I check out anonymously. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want y'all to know what I'm getting in the bag. So, same thing applies here. If you're buying Diddy's PJ, you might want to keep that on the low.
Keep that on the low. Like you say, you probably get a paint job after that.
You feel me?
Just
put primer over the Bad Boy logo. Like, yo, we gonna cover this up real quick.
Can you imagine what that pre-purchase inspection was like?
Yo, we was talking about this off
mic. All the cracks and crevices.
Big room raiders energy. We're going in there with the black.
Yo, you gotta get the black light.
Black light.
They don't even want to check the engine. We don't care about the engine.
We don't care about none of that.
Check the carpets. Check
That's
the chairs.
Rip out. We gotta reupholster this whole joint.
Everything.
Now, this was actually sold due to legal pressure. So maybe he's using these funds to, pay the lawyers, pay the staff, because I know the staff was also waiting for some money while he is incarcerated.
Right. That's what happens when the boss goes down. You know what I'm saying? Them checks slow up.
He stressed that the individual in the footage is unmistakably identifiable, leaving no room for confusion about who it is. She also made it clear this wasn't a one-off incident. According to her, additional recordings are quietly being circulated behind the scenes across Hollywood. Situations like this are often referred to as catch and kill. That's when someone comes forward with damaging material and presents a choice: buy the footage to keep it hidden, or risk it being released publicly. In plain terms, it's blackmail. Multiple reports suggest this tactic may currently be targeting more than one well-known figure. Even the thought of it is disturbing. Imagine being contacted by someone claiming they possess footage of you in a private moment, something you never expected anyone else to see, and using that as leverage. Meanwhile, another clip has resurfaced that reignited online debate, a karaoke video featuring Diddy and Meek Mill. The moment struck many viewers as tense and awkward. In the footage, Meek Mill appears to make remarks that some interpreted as questionable. At one point, Diddy turns around with a clearly shocked expression, as if reacting instantly to what had just been said. That brief exchange alone was enough to send the clip circulating again, adding yet another layer to an already growing conversation.
And they didn't choose it. They were born into this. I don't think anybody's paying attention to that. The choice to that guy. If that man calls and say, I need you to do this, I need you to do that, what else are they going to do? They gotta bet on him. I'm sure they're all praying he makes it, because if not, what are they going to do? And they definitely can't count on Grandma Janice. They're screwed. One way or the other, they're screwed.
So there's no escape for them.
How? Was there escape for OJ's children? Their daddy is the new OJ. And we already know he done it. Like, OJ's kids went through hell. And there was reasonable doubt. We didn't see a video of him doing anything. We didn't see him running around in a towel with a knife, We seen that with the Dibbler.
That brief exchange instantly brought many people back to alleged audio that surfaced a year before. The recording was mentioned in a lengthy, 70-page civil lawsuit filed by music producer Rodney Jones, who is also known as Little Rod. In that filing, the lawsuit references a rapper from Philadelphia who was previously in a relationship with Nicki Minaj. While the individual's name was blacked out in the main section, additional details elsewhere in the document led many readers to believe the description pointed toward Meek Mill. The filing includes allegations of inappropriate conduct. Once those claims entered public discussion, some fans admitted their view of Meek Mill shifted. Even tracks that once felt motivational, including Dreams and Nightmares, reportedly hit differently for certain listeners. To be clear, these statements stem from legal filings and ongoing public debate. However, when allegations appear in official court documents, it inevitably causes people to take notice and ask questions. More recently, TMZ released footage showing Diddy inside Fort Dix. What caught viewers off guard wasn't the location itself, but his demeanor. Given the gravity of his circumstances, many were surprised to see him smiling. That image alone sparked a fresh wave of speculation and reaction online.
Diddy Combs is now asking for an appeals court for immediate release, saying that the judge defied the jury's verdict during sentencing. As someone who represented Combs before, you think he'll be successful?
I will tell you something. Part of one of the lessons that trial brought to me was just how effective his appellate lawyer, Alexandra Shapiro, is. She's the one who authored this brief. I've known Alexandra for a while, and I will tell you, she's one of the more impressive legal minds that I've encountered in 43 years of practice. Having said that, I think this brief reads compellingly. I think they've already somewhat expedited it or granted her request for an expedited appeal. Number one, that's a good sign. Number two, she's asked for immediate release. I think there's a potential there. Remember, when he was convicted of these two Mann Act violations, if you took a look at this, he actually rolled the dice. He won against the counts that carried a mandatory life sentence and would have basically forfeited his entire fortune. So he rolled the dice and won, and then he was enhanced in his sentence by the very conduct he was acquitted of. I think that's fundamentally unfair. In fact, if you want to talk about fairness, I think the prosecution should be penalized for overcharging him in the first.
Access to resources and
some viewers felt the smile was nothing more than a show of confidence for the cameras. Others wondered if it hinted at something deeper, perhaps inside knowledge about legal maneuvering or behind-the-scenes negotiations the public isn't aware of. There's no proof to support either theory, but the clip left many people unsettled. Around the same time, another older video began circulating again, a speech from an award show. In that moment, Diddy confidently declares, "We have the power. We decide what's hot. We control everything." Those words, resurfacing now, have taken on a very different tone for many watching.
Well, Trump recently announced that he's not going to be pardoning Diddy.
I seen that.
Yeah. Are you surprised?
Yes.
Me too.
I thought he would have pardoned Diddy.
Yeah, because they used to be homies back in the day.
I think maybe Diddy didn't do what he was supposed to do.
What was that?
You know how that go, man. You know, hey, listen, the Chevy in the parking lot, the trunk is open. You know, them parties ain't just happening to happen. This a fact. Not those type of parties. But if Diddy does right, and if he's in the drug program, he'll be home later this year anyway.
This year?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think so. He's not coming home this year.
You want to do the math?
Let's do the math.
Okay, let's do the math. 50 months, right? He got 50 months.
Right, about 12 months time served?
Hold on, he got 12 months time. Do they take the 15 from the top?
Yeah.
Okay, so minus his 15%. That leaves 42 and a half months. Minus, he had,
about
was
12.
It 12 months time served? 12.
So that's 30.
That's 30. Minus another 12 months for the drug program. That's why he went there. You do the drug program, they
18
take
months.
12 months off, 18 months, minus 6 months for the halfway house. 12 and a half months. He got sentenced when, in October? Was it October?
I think that's too soon, but yeah.
All
right, listen, if you're
right, doing all the deductions.
Listen, I'll be happy if
you
Diddy's
do know
free. That's
why he wanted the drug program.
Right, to get a reduction.
You
I get
a 12 months off, and then they send you to the halfway house 6 months early.
At the time, the statement was brushed off as simple confidence. But revisiting it now, many viewers say it lands differently, almost like a candid admission of just how much behind-the-scenes influence certain figures truly held. That shift in perspective has pushed people to reconsider how much power actually existed and, more importantly, how it may have been exercised. Adding to that reflection is another piece of footage currently making the rounds. It shows Diddy spending time with a group of well-known celebrity friends. The clip starts out harmless, even respectful, with someone opening in prayer. But as the video goes on, a number of viewers say the mood changes and something about the interaction begins to feel unsettling.
Give a damn. He don't give a damn. He literally is saying he's going to reach out to Trump to remind Trump of the things that P. Diddy has said about him for the sole express purposes of making sure that Trump doesn't pardon Diddy in the event that Diddy gets convicted of trafficking and racketeering. That's what 50 Cent has sworn to do. And I got to admit to you, that's wild. Damn, you know you got an enemy there when the man want to go out of his way to contact the president, and clearly he has some kind of inroads where he can get to President Trump so President Trump can hear him. He's basically saying, yo, brother need to go down.
Viewers have been dissecting every detail, the body language, the pauses, the tension in the room. Comment sections are packed with people highlighting moments that feel awkward or out of place. Rather than explaining it outright, many encourage others to watch carefully and draw their own conclusions. For a growing number of people, the reaction is the same. Something about the footage just doesn't feel right. Another clip frequently mentioned has left many viewers genuinely disturbed. Video from one of Diddy's parties resurfaced showing a white man lying completely still, appearing unconscious. In the footage, Diddy approaches a camera and makes a remark aimed at the audience, saying something to the effect of, "For anyone who doesn't know what happens when a white man comes to a Diddy party, this is it." That moment alone sparked intense discussion and discomfort online, adding yet another layer to an already troubling narrative.
Are you concerned that Sean Diddy Combs could be sexually assaulted, violently assaulted? Is that a thing? Because based on what was said in court, it feels like a thing.
Yeah, it clearly is a thing. I mean, they're already, and he did not want to make a big deal of it. They already tried to shank him once at the MDC, and that was thwarted. And it happens in prison. I mean, you and I could tick off how many times we are aware of somebody getting seriously injured or killed in prison. And so they're going to have to keep him somewhere that they can keep an eye on him. It would have obviously been better if he had gotten less time and had been at a camp, but he's going to be in a facility where somebody's going to have to, from the BOP, and I think they're well equipped to do it if they can, to keep an eye on him because he is a target.
That's when he follows it up with the words, "I put him to sleep." That single line immediately triggered alarm bells for many viewers. What does that even mean in this situation, especially when taken in context with everything else now coming to light? People began asking obvious but troubling questions. How did that person end up in that condition? What happened before the camera started rolling? And why was it being filmed at all? The clip raised multiple red flags, but what disturbed many viewers the most was a casual, almost joking way it was presented. That tone left people wondering about the mindset behind recording and sharing something like that in the first place. Adding to the unease, another older video has resurfaced, this time involving Ashton Kutcher.
That makes sense. But you knowing Diddy personally, do you think it's possible he might take his life?
It takes a certain individual to prepare itself to do a lot of years in jail. From the lifestyle that he had, I'm not saying that he can't. I just don't see him able to do time behind bars. Maybe if he'd be in a camp type situation, that's a possibility. But based on the lifestyle and what he's done and what he's accomplished, if he had to go behind those bars for a lot of years, I think that he may commit suicide. He'd do an Epstein.
It's another clip that people have recently started looking at more closely. The footage comes from a charity event centered on distributing mosquito bed nets in Africa. In the video, Ashton Kutcher mentions growing up in Venice Beach, and the event includes a public thank you to Starbucks for its sponsorship. On its own, the moment appears completely positive and uncontroversial. But given the renewed scrutiny surrounding Diddy's private events, some viewers say the broader context has changed how they interpret the clip. It's led to questions, not accusations, but questions nonetheless. Did Ashton have any awareness beyond the public-facing charity portion of the event? or was his involvement limited strictly to that setting before leaving? There is no evidence to suggest he knew of anything inappropriate, and it's important to be clear about that. Speculation without proof helps no one. Still, the resurfaced footage has contributed to a wider conversation about who may have known what and at what point. That ongoing discussion has only intensified as more accounts come forward, and this is where the situation becomes even more serious. A woman named Audrey Sherry English has since spoken publicly about her experience. Many who've heard her story have described it as deeply upsetting and difficult to hear. If you want this shortened, more cautious for monetization, or more emotionally driven, just tell me and I'll adjust it.
Listen here. Everybody that is said, and Desiree Perez, all them people got dirt under them, bro. You understand? All them people got dirt on their fingernails. Jay-Z got dirt in his fingernails. You understand? Jay-Z was messing with young girls from our block. Tired of them. I'm putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm picking a side. Desiree, husband, was a former drug dealer that she turned on a whole cartel. All of them got dirt on them. And 50 got they dirt. You understand? 50 gonna know they dirt. Because 50 got investigated, he got people that's in the street. So if they go at him, listen here, I deem him like myself, 10 times the normal man. He gonna do what he gotta do. And the whole thing about it is they trying to retaliate on him for something he did to somebody else. I feel that it's something worth seeing. It's something worth coming around, because all that shit is about to fall. All that we seen in the industry, these demons want to have and turn little boys into little girls into little boys. It's about to go out the window, bro.
She explained that in the early 2000s, she was hired to work as a go-go dancer at what were described as Diddy's private, invitation-only parties. At the beginning, everything felt exciting and glamorous. She recalled Diddy coming across as charming and welcoming, and being invited back repeatedly made her feel chosen. To her, it felt like a real opportunity, a possible entry point into the entertainment industry. But according to her account, things shifted after attending a few of these gatherings. She said the expectations quietly changed. What started as dancing slowly turned into requests that went beyond performance. Over time, she claimed the demands escalated further. She was allegedly instructed to focus on specific guests and guide people into private rooms and restricted areas of the house. Then she shared something that deeply disturbed many who listened. She said she believed she was drugged during these events. According to her description, certain champagne bottles were offered, and after drinking from them, something felt wrong. She said her eyes would stay open, but mentally she would lose awareness. She described the sensation as being physically awake while mentally disconnected, like moving through the night without control. She claimed that after this, she was expected to engage in sexual activity with guests. Many of the individuals involved, she said, were powerful and wealthy. At the time, she believed complying might help her career. In her mind, this felt like a potential path toward connections, opportunities, or even a record deal. Looking back, she acknowledged that she was young, inexperienced, and placed too much trust in the situation. Based on her memory, she estimated being involved with more than 20 people during the parties she attended. That number alone caused many listeners to pause. She also stated that the number could be higher than she remembers. According to her, during the raid on Diddy's home, tapes were allegedly recovered, and she believes she may appear in some of them. If that's accurate, it suggests the scope of what happened could be far larger than she recalls. She later filed a civil lawsuit alleging coercion, trafficking, and forced labor. She explained that when she initially tried to speak out, she felt dismissed and ignored. Over time, she turned to alcohol to cope and chose silence, fearing judgment and shame for her family. Toward the end of her interview, she made a statement that resonated with many viewers. "Everybody's not lying," she said. "What if people are telling the truth?" That question has lingered for many because it challenges the instinct to immediately dismiss stories like Hayes. Hearing her experience reframed the conversation for a lot of people. She believed she was moving closer to her dreams, only to find herself in a deeply traumatic situation. And many now believe she is unlikely to be the only person with a similar story. That brings the focus back to the private jet. In October 2025, Diddy reportedly sold his well-known matte black private jet. Under normal circumstances, finding a buyer might be simple, but during major legal trouble, high-profile assets often become difficult to sell. Anything connected to controversy can quickly lose appeal. Alec Baldwin reportedly experienced similar challenges when attempting to sell property after the Russ case. The timing of the sale matters. According to reports, if Diddy had been convicted on higher-level charges, prosecutors in the Southern District of New York were prepared to seize everything: cash, real estate, vehicles, and other assets. Plans were allegedly in place to take full control of his holdings. We've seen versions of this before. When Young Thug was incarcerated, assets were seized and later returned. In Diddy's case, some speculate that seized assets may not have been returned at all. So what was a jet worth? Reports describe it as a 2015 Gulfstream G550 with a matte black exterior, beige interior, seating for up to 14 passengers, and even pet-friendly accommodations. Comparable aircraft are said to sell for anywhere between $15 million and $30 million for a single jet. The plane was reportedly sold through his company, Love Air LLC. Its tail number is no longer associated with the aircraft, and records now suggest it is registered in San Marino, a small European country. Why sell it? The explanation many point to is straightforward. Legal defense at this scale is incredibly costly. Multiple civil lawsuits require massive financial resources. Attorney fees, filings, and prolonged court battles add up quickly. When facing numerous cases at once, selling high-value assets becomes a way to maintain liquidity. And now comes a final development. On January 1st, 2026, a new law took effect in California, the California Justice for Survivors Act. This legislation opens a 2-year window allowing individuals to file civil lawsuits even if the statute of limitations has already expired. Claims that were previously considered too old can now be brought forward. The law also expands responsibility beyond individuals. Companies and organizations that allegedly enabled, ignored, or covered up misconduct can now be named as defendants. That includes record labels, management firms, and other entities that may have been aware and failed to act. This is a significant shift. When a similar legal window opened in New York, hundreds of lawsuits followed. Now California has implemented the same pathway, and it's safe to say many people in Hollywood are paying close attention. So now the question turns to you. What part of this story stood out the most? The Go-Go Dancers account? The alleged party footage? The video of the unconscious man? Or the impact of this new law? And the bigger question, do you think more names are going to surface? Based on everything that has emerged so far, many believe this story doesn't end with just one person. Share your thoughts in the comments. I do read them.
He's the guy to go to because we got video of him at Fort Dix reporting for work in the library, where he is making recommendations and handing out different movies and books for his fellow inmates.
I'm really fascinated just by the library
But
itself.
you're seeing him here. This is him reporting to work, taking off his jacket, taking off his scarf, and settling in for a day on the job.
It looks like a public school library.
Yeah.
It's
this was the chapel, and this is the media library in the chapel, which is where Diddy's currently working. He's working in a Life Connections program, which is an 18-month program that helps rehab people and get them closer to spirituality, to charity groups, and with that, it will shorten his sentence. But in this media library, he helps inmates with religious material, rent out movies, that kind of stuff. You see him pushing a
really
cart
interesting
with a TV on it.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the laundry room when he first got there.
Yeah,
so this got to be
his first
This got to
assignment.
be a promotion.
Yeah.
It feels like a promotion. It feels like maybe he tried the lunchroom and put in a request for something different.
Yeah, it does
I mean,
believe
he is
it
a
does
media
sound like
mogul.
he used maybe possibly some connections to get a better job.